Hey there, men. Happy Truck Talk Thursday to you. Mike Yarbo here, coming at you from the Wolf and Iron Podcast. Glad to have you guys with me this morning as I'm driving in my truck, and I'm going to share some thoughts with you guys on a subject that I think is important. Listen, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, welcome. Glad you're here. You're in the right spot to become a better man. You know, Wolf and Iron is all about helping men heed the high call that's on our lives. And, you know, some guys, we kind of hear that softly, maybe as we're younger in our 20s. By the time we get into our 30s, hopefully we're hearing it a little bit more strongly. The high call sounds a lot like this desire inside to do more, to be more, that there ought to be more in life, and that so much of it rests on me. It rests on us as men to go out and take it. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the difference between fate and destiny. I'm a destiny guy. You know, fate is the thing that's going to happen no matter what. So it's just fated to be. It's going to happen. Two lovers, you know, whatever. Fated to be together or fated to die or whatever the case. Some sad story. Destiny is the thing that's out there, and if you will take it up, if you can grab it by its cojones or wherever destiny, whatever destiny's reproductive organs are. You can go out there and take destiny by the horns, maybe. It's early, I haven't had coffee yet. Then you can have it. You can own it. It can be your thing. And, you know, I think that even as a Christian, and I do believe in the providence of God, I believe in the sovereignty of God, but I also think that He gives us opportunity. And He puts that out there before us, and He says, hey, look, there's a lot of good things that you can do, you can take up, you can be a part of, but you're going to have to be willing to go for it. And if you are, then you're going to achieve some things. You're going to achieve certainly a lot more than you would have otherwise, and your family's going to be better. You're going to feel more fulfilled. The world's going to be a better place, and so on. So that's what the Wolf and Iron podcast and Wolf and Iron mission is all about, in something of a not very good nutshell. Today I'm going to be talking about tilling up stones, and I was actually talking to a counselor friend. He reminded me of this kind of analogy a little bit, but I'm going to really reference more of my grandfather, who's the gardener that I know of gardeners. And, you know, this idea here of tilling up stones, I guess I'll just lay it out for you like this. My grandparents have been living on the land that they have now since it was owned by my granddad's parents, right? So my great-grandparents owned it. I want to say the home was built in the 60s or maybe the early 70s, but I think the 60s. And it's got a couple of different gardens, but there's one out front. Right out, you know, walk right out of the house, and I guess technically it'd be the back of the house, but it doesn't really matter. There's a garden there. And it's been tilled up every year since, so, you know, we're thinking probably 49 years. So, you know, that's not a lot. If you think 49 is not a big number, really, of tilling something up, but still 49 years of tilling this thing up. And the process of tilling kind of looks the same just about every year. You go through and you till the rows, and then you go through the rows and you take a 5-gallon bucket with you, and you collect all the stones that have come up from the dirt. And my granddad gets a little tickled at this idea that, you know, this thing's been tilled over and over and over again. And when you get done, it looks fantastic. You got all the stones out. The ground is beautiful brown dirt. And yet next year there will be more stones that work their way to the surface to be picked up. And, you know, life can be like that for us too. You know, we go digging, we're going to find stuff. And the more we dig, the more we're going to find. I think the issue is that, one, we got to recognize that there's probably more stones there than we can really become aware of. We're going to be finding them all in our life, right? So we're going to go through, we're going to dig into stuff. We're going to say, okay, you know, somebody told me about this father wound. What's that all about? Oh man, you can pull up a lot of stones there. All right, somebody said I have attachment issues. I'm either insecure or I'm detached, or I got some other kind of problems I'm dealing with. Start digging up some stones, turn them over, looking at them, seeing what you got. There's going to be more there. It could be any number of things. It could be that you fly off the handle too easy. It could be that you've got a porn addiction. It could be that you got a food addiction. Take your pick of vices that most humans, and certainly men, deal with, and start tilling around. You're going to find some stuff. And this can be really good, right? Taking out the stones, throwing them out to the side, taking them down the creek bed and tossing them in. But it can also be bad, because sometimes we go digging for other people's stones. And maybe they need that in their life a little bit. We talk about the iron sharpens iron in the wolf and iron community, and we talk about how some guys are better at really, kind of hammering you out, right? Some guys are better about kind of putting that edge on you. We all got a little different sense of tact and understanding of what a guy needs when he needs it. And so that's why it's good to have a lot of guys in our community. Some guys can be straightforward with us. Some guys can have a little bit more tact. But as we're trying to till up stones in other people, we go digging, we're going to find some more. And we go digging, we're going to find some more. And this could be with our kids. This could be with our wife. This could be in our career. It could be in our business. And pretty soon we kind of miss the whole point of gardening, don't we? We become stone finders, tillers of earth. And we become more interested in the stuff we're going to throw away than the stuff that we need to be planting. Every year there's, after the garden gets tilled up and the stones get collected and tossed out, garden is planted there. Tomatoes, which I don't like unless they're in ketchup or maybe salsa or something like that. But my grandparents love tomatoes, and they're always really excited about their tomato patch. And it is truly impressive, to be honest with you. Cucumbers and beans and okra and all kinds of good stuff growing in that garden. Lettuce. And the garden has to be tended to, right? So you plant the stuff, you're watching it grow, you're watering, you're tending to it. There's a lot more time invested in trying to get things to grow there than it is tilling up stones. But we can get on this kind of self-help kick where we're just trying to root out all the issues in our life. And sometimes, guys, we got to take a break. And we got to start planting, and we got to start tending to the good stuff. Because if we don't, well, we're going to have a lot of nice brown dirt with nothing growing there. And we're going to have a lot of people around us with buckets of stones sitting next to them, thinking the next time you go talk to them, you're going to try to find something wrong with them again. So we need to be planters. We need to be gardeners. We need to tend to the field, so to speak. I will kind of close with this. My granddad, as he's been tilling up the ground just in the last few years, has started to find some cool stuff, some Indian artifacts. Native American artifacts. I'm not allowed to say Indian or Indian or whatever anymore because it's 2019 and we're all PC. But he's beginning to find some really cool artifacts. Arrowhead points, tools that look like they could have been used for, grinding stuff up, chopping things. Looks like axe heads and things like that. And now get this. This thing's been, so for one, I'm a little bit jealous of this because as a kid growing up there in the country with my grandparents, I used to always think, man, maybe Indians lived around here. And I would be told, yeah, sure, they probably did, made sense. But I had no proof of it. I never found anything. I spent all kinds of time down at the water and everything. I never found anything that was Indian related. But now things are starting to come to the surface. So this thing's been buried under the ground, or they're just, fortune of the time. Whatever happens to be, but these things are starting to come up, and there's some cool things that you don't want to throw away, right? And so let that sink in for a little bit. Sometimes we're going to go digging for things that we don't want. Sometimes we're going to go digging for things and we're going to find stuff we want to hang on to. Makes us who we are. Tells a little bit of our story. Is what makes us unique. And so don't just go in digging trying to toss out everything that comes to the surface. Or don't just dismiss the things, your bad experiences even in the past. The rough life that you had, the problems that you've had to overcome. We don't want all of the fruits that come from it because we can't grow with it there. We can't plant what we need to there. But we do want to be reminded from time to time of just some of the artifacts in our life that tell our story, make us who we are. And so hopefully that's helpful, guys. I know I appreciated talking to my granddad, I guess it was about this time last year, and just hearing his story and his excitement. He was in his 80s. He's in his 80s now. He's still alive. And just hearing his excitement about finding arrowheads and talking about the story that used to, the Indians that used to live there and all the things that may have gone on and stuff like that. It doesn't change, It doesn't really matter how old we get. We can still get excited about discovering new things. That means about ourselves. It could be about our land. It could be about our wives, our kids. Life's an adventure, right? And there's a lot of untamed wilderness out there. A lot of areas need to be plowed up. All right, fellas, that's it for me. Talk to you later.